just pan around to the right-hand side there, and it's been a real great thing to watch of the youngsters who have been in here. From schools, those watching on who are lucky enough to see from up there. Women's discus throw F53 and the women's shot put F34 will get us underway. The F53, by the way, Elizabeth Rodriguez, who won the shot put earlier today with the world record. She's also the world record holder in F52 in this category as well. So lows to look forward to in that. And it could be a double gold for her. On the track as well, we'll have the women's 100 metres T11 semi-finals. And then a little later in the evening, a real treat for you. Women's 400 metres T12. A lady by the name of Amara Durand, who will be going in that a little bit later on. Never ever beaten in a final. And you would suspect that she'll be making her way through to yet another one, will the Cuban. Seated events. Discus will be getting underway shortly. That'll be the women's discus throw F53. A very good evening to you. A good morning, a good afternoon, wherever you may be watching around the world. I'm Tolson Tollett. Alongside me, as usual, Will Downing, and former Great Britain and Canadian athlete, World Championship gold medalist, Steph Reid is also alongside me. We'll introduce you to her in just a moment or two's time. The women's discus throw F53 though, so obviously bronze medalist in 2016 and 20. There is Elizabeth Rodriguez. Already won a gold medal today in that shot put. She is the reigning champion in this as well. India have been well represented at these games. Kanchan Lakhani with a lifetime best of 9.79 will be the third of the athletes to line up. Cassie Mitchell also won 7 paracycling gold medals as well. She won silver in 2016 in Rio. Second of the Indians to go, Ekta Bayan. And alongside her, Elnaz Darabian Agdas of Iran, who was 6th in Tokyo 2020.
Representing Mexico,
and Mexico's Leticia Ochoa Delgado with a lifetime best of 12.32. Now there are 3 categories going in this. There are 2, or should I say 3 F51s. There are 3 F53s. And the last of the athletes you saw then, Ochoa Delgado of Mexico, is an F52. So Steph Reid, lows to look forward to in this evening session as we head across towards the shot put.
Yeah, one of the great things about coming early is, well, apart from the DJ and the dance party, is that you really get this behind-the-scenes look at how the athletes prepare, particularly the athletes on the field, and things that you typically wouldn't see on air. You get a glimpse as to all the little nuances and little details that they have to take care of before the actual competition starts.
Well, talking of nuances to take care of, Zhu Lijuan, who is the world record and championship record holder, she looks after everything. She'll be going in the women's shot put F34, gold medalist in the past 2 Paralympic Games and gold medalist in the past 3 World Championships, as well as a Asian Paragold in 2018. That's how they line up. There'll be a field of 7 who will be going in that one, including, as I said, Zhu Lijuan, the reigning world and Paralympic champion. Season best of 8.90. And Konobus, not too far off either, 8.17 for the pole, who's always had an impressive career and has a load of medals to her name as well, at all levels. Wonderful camera work there as always. And here are the athletes who are just about ready to be introduced to the crowds who are pouring in here to watch on a lovely balmy evening. Not too warm. I suspect the athletes tonight would quite enjoy this. It's a slight breeze that's making it a little bit cooler. I can say that because I'm not competing. But when you're out there on the track or in the field. It'll be a little bit warmer because there is sunshine out there. We'll also have T52s on the track as well when that gets underway. Men's 400 metres T52 will be those heats kicking off the evening session. As we now look ahead to the women's shot put F34. Ansef Anoemi of the United Arab Emirates. The first of 7 to be introduced, who was 8th at the previous World Championships in Dubai.
United Arab Emirates.
The great part about these games as well is there's been youth and experience, and next to experience there is youth. Dana Crees of Australia, 21 years of age, her major championship debut for her.
Representing Saudi Arabia, Sarah Al-Juma.
Sarah Al-Juma of Saudi Arabia, her lifetime best set this year at 5.92. Sada Amoudi of Morocco, silver medalist in Dubai in 2019. She took bronze in Tokyo in 2020. And here's Zulu Wan, the reigning world and Paralympic champion. Last 3 world championships, she's taken gold with big marks as well. Jadav of India, 7.71. She'll be looking to go further than that and break her lifetime best. And Lasina Konopis of Poland, silver in 2016 and 20 at the Paralympics, gold in 2018 and 21 in the European Championships, and silver, 2 of those in 2015 and 17 in the World Championships. Men's shot put F11 final, complete visual impairment. Big world records and championship records to try and usurp for those who are taking part in this. So Will Downing alongside Steph Reed here as well. Time for me to take a breath and let Will introduce you to what's coming up.
Yeah, the men's long jump T36 final is on the way. Also 11 going in this. Now, this gets underway in an hour's time. Evgeny Tursunov has been one of the dominant forces in this in recent years, but he is not here. Neither are his teammates. But there are quite a few familiar names that we will be seeing when this gets underway in about an hour's time here. We were royally entertained by the field action this morning, particularly in that men's long jump T12, which reduced the world record for Donir Saliev of Uzbekistan. And also the women's javelin F46, where Holly Arnold took the title, and Holly Robinson of New Zealand did not feature in the medals this time, extraordinarily. Well, we do have men's 400 metres T52 track action as well. The second most impaired of the wheelchair racers. 7 going in this. Thomas Geyer-Spickler included there. A very regular champion. He's now 47 years old since mid-April.
So that'll get us underway on the track this evening. 8 on the track. As far as finals go, this only a heat or a semi-final, because there are 2, if you'd like to call it that. Whichever way we look at it, there'll be 3 who automatically qualify from each of the men's 400 metre T52 heats through to the final. Sato Tomoki, the world record and championship record holder, will go in heat number 2. But it's time to look at heat number 1.
Premier rendez-vous sur la piste des séries du 400 mètres masculin.
Kyung John Dae.
Lane 2, representing the Republic of Korea.
Will go from lane 2, 7th in 2019 at the previous World Championships. First major championship for the 22-year-old Maxime Caraban of Belgium.
Lane 4,
The nerves jangling, no doubt. Someone with a bit of experience. Kęstutis Kukas of Lithuania. Gold in 2018 at the European Championships and bronze at the last ones in 2021. There's a bit of a difference, isn't there? Leonardo Perez of Mexico. He was 4th in the 1500 meters here. He was 4th in this event in 2016 in Rio.
Japan. Ito Tatsuya.
Japan's Ito Tatsuya will go from lane 6 as he looks to emulate what his Japanese compatriot Sato Tomoki, who will go in the second heat, has done in his career. Thomas Gierspiegler, he's done plenty. European champion, bronze way back in 2004 in this event in Athens.
Switzerland.
And beat Bush of Switzerland, who won gold in this
It's hit one.
back
The men's
in
400
2002 at the Worlds.
And the next two fastest will advance to the final.
Les 3 premiers de chaque série assurés d'une place en finale demain à 21h25.
What you're looking at there is one of their speed readers that lets them know how fast they're going in the race.
Thanks, Steph. Always good to have an expert alongside us, just talking us through exactly what happens in these wheelchair races. And they get away with a rather fast start. 4 in from that fast side from Perez, the man who we just saw there with that speedometer. But flying up on the inside is Maxime Caraban, the youngster in his first major championship. He is absolutely flying at the moment and way out in front. Perez in second. This, of course, only one lap, 400 metres. The first 3 will go through, so there's an element of pacing about it. But Caraban, well, his first major championships, the adrenaline has certainly got towards him. The world record and championship record of Sato might be under threat. And I'll tell you what, it absolutely is. 55.30. He's outside the world record, but he has set a championship record time at his first major championships. Well, here's one for the future. Maxime Caraban has just broken the championship record held by Sato Tomoki, who goes in his second heat. That was set in London back in 2017 at the championships there. Quite extraordinary. We start with a heat, not a final, and we start with another championship record. They just keep on coming in, don't they?
Oh, what a great reaction from Caravan. You can see it's quite a muted celebration because the work isn't fully done yet, but I think even he was a little bit surprised with that. But you're right, speedometer is a much better word than speed reader. And the rule is athletes can have gear like that on their chairs. They just can't have anything that allows for two-way communication. And often those speedometers are quite helpful just because it gives the athletes a little bit of information about how fast they're going, whether or not they're getting up to their top speed. And clearly, Caravan hit a very good top speed there. What you'll see as they come around the corner, in order to steer their chairs, they have a compensator and they're going to hit it. Just there, we saw that little half push to hit it. And obviously they don't want to take their hands off their wheels to steer. Before their race, they will set the compensators based on the lane that they're assigned.
Well, you talked about speedometers there. You can throw the speedometer out the window for Maxime Caraban because he has just gone off on one and set a championship record of 55.30. Perez has gone through in second and qualified from Mexico. And Ito of Japan is also through in a time of 1:03.48. Season bests for Thomas Gierspiegler and Young. they will now have to wait because it will be the next two fastest who advance. But Maxime Caraban, the first event on the track of the evening, a heat in the men's 400 metres T52. It's a championship record. And what a start.
Representing India, Monu Ganga.
What a start indeed. 1700s outside the world record. That is a European record as well. Men's shot put. Monu Gangas of India, the first to be introduced of this massive field. Complete visual impairment. Juan Carlos Caballero coming up next for Panama. Second to be introduced, Miljanko Vucic of Croatia. 14:42. Regularly at the top. Worth watching for Miroslav Magia. Likewise for Poland, is now 43. Ratab Chetty of Kenya is not starting. Curiously, Roger Saavedra will be for Panama, who we regularly see at the front of affairs.
Representing Finland, Petri Peitso.
Luke Yombi-Kvi of Cameroon, Petri Peitso of Finland, Milos Spajic of Montenegro. Now he's 11:39 man. He'll be looking to get all his throws in.
Representing Brazil, Alessandro da Silva.
Alessandro da Silva won silver 2 years ago in Tokyo. Baram Gazimov coming here for Azerbaijan.
Representing Cameroon, Clément Ndim.
Clément Ndim of Cameroon will be looking to go past 10 meters tonight. Here is the reigning Paralympic champion from Tokyo 2 years ago, Madi Olad. He threw 14:43. That would be tasty tonight.
Representing Spain,
The reigning world and Asian champion too. Alvaro Delamo for Spain, a 12:74 thrower. Evgeny Yagudin of Moldova.
Representing Austria, Bill Marinkovic.
And the ever-reliable veteran from Austria,
Finalists of the men's shot put F11.
Bill Marinkovic, is the 16th to be introduced, and the 16th who will be throwing in this whopping competition. Sydney 2000 was his first Paralympic Games. His first world title coming in the Netherlands in 2006 in Assen in the javelin. And he won Paralympic gold in that in 2004. London 2017, his last major championship medal, which was in the discus. There's variety, the silver medal. So he's done it all, he's won it all, but there's still more to be claimed. And he turned 50 this year as well. No, turns 50 next month. Happy birthday, Bill.
I was watching some of the warm-ups, and in some ways I almost think that you have to be a dancer or a gymnast or a shot putter to really understand the grace and the power. Some of the men were using the spinning technique before taking the shot put, and you're taught as a dancer to sight with your eyes when you're doing chenades or spinning, and these athletes are turning and spinning and somehow knowing where they are in space and knowing when to release the shot put in the right direction without going over the line. It's amazing.
It's a remarkable amount of coaching that goes into that when you just think about it, the spatial awareness. It's about thinking where you are after the full throws. Full spins as well. And my colleague Steph Reed also at the medal ceremonies this afternoon, spent the full day at the stadium. They went well?
They did well. They did go well. I did have to push past a group of school children to get to the front to get a shot with my husband. My French wasn't quite good enough to ask them to get out of the way. But once they understood what was going on, they were very generous and let me go straight to the front.
What's the French for "Don't you know who I am"? T52 men's 400 meters. This is the second heat. Maxim Caraban, the Belgian, former handballer, with a new European and Championship record of 55.30. So that puts it up for the outgoing Championship record holder, who now has instant incentive to grab it back. First of all, in lane 1, 5th World Championship for Sam McIntosh for Australia. Outside him in lane 2 for South Africa, 7th in the 1500 metres final here. So this again is great diversity for Brandon Big.
Lane 3, bronze medalist in the last Paralympic Games.
In lane 3 for Japan, bronze in the 4 and the 15 in the last in the last Paralympics in Tokyo, silver in the marathon in 2008. Hirokazu Inabaru. Easy for me to say. In lane 4 for Colombia, Pan Am silver and bronze medalist Christian Torres.
Lane 5, representing
In lane 5 for Switzerland, 8th in the 1500 metres in the last World Championships, Fabian Bloom. In lane 6 for Japan, retaining his 1500 metres title here for a 3rd Games in a row, looking to do it for a 4th time in a row in the 400, Sato Tomoki of Japan. In lane 7 for Canada, championship debut for Anthony Bouchard. And on the outside, in lane 8 for Thailand, the new 1500 metres bronze medalist, and bronze in the 15 in the 2016 Paralympics in Rio, Pichaya Kuratanasiri. Sato, the fastest this year, but a new world lead going Maxim Caraban's way. Sato will have been watching from the bowels of the Stade Charlotte. McIntosh in 1, Berg 2, Inabaru 3, Torres 4, Bloom, Sato, Bouchard, Kuratanasiri. Those are the 8 in this. So the first 3 to go through to the final, plus the next 2. Sato in lane 6 will be well primed in that light fluorescent red, and he's shooting away straight away. Christian Torres going well also, that Pan Am silver and bronze medalist 3 times. He claimed medals in Lima at the last Para Pan Am. Sato is away and well clear for Japan. He might wish to take his ultimate revenge in the final, but he has seen Maxim Caraban immediately come through and take a brilliant time in that first heat, and Sato is well clear. 55.13 is world record from 2018. 56.78 his old championship record from London 2017. This is going to be fast. 56.58. Sato takes it, and it will be in Japan 1-2. Hirokazu Inabaru in 2nd place, and Kuratanasiri in 3rd. Looks like Torres in 4th. He will find out very quickly whether he's going through or not. But Sato timed that really well. It is actually inside his old championship record from London 2017. 56.57. He's in the final. He's keeping his powder dry. Didn't want to do anything sensational. He will do his own race in the decider, where Maxim Caraban is the fastest candidate.
I think that is a setup for quite an exciting final between Sato and Caraban. But I found the most interesting thing was when they went through the athletes at the start and we got a look at the different types of gloves that the athletes are using. Now this morning we saw the women's T54 on the track, and this is a men's T52. And as a quick crash course in terms of why we have different wheelchair classifications, a T52 has their torso is affected, but so are their arms. And so what that means is that sometimes they will have a little bit more difficulty gripping their push rims, which is why there's such variety in terms of the gloves that they use, because you want to do whatever it takes to transfer as much power from your arms into your wheels.
Well, Sato really dragged them along A winning margin of over 6 seconds for the reigning Asian world and Paralympic champion. He's got the Asian title to defend again later on this year in Hangzhou. But he's a step closer to successfully defending the world title. Excellent display, just like Caraban earlier for Belgium. So Sato qualifies for the final. The top 5 all do. Nabarro, Kurotanasiri, Bouchard and Torres all progress. Quite a sprint in the end between 3rd and 6th. Bloom just missing out.
Encore 5 records du monde battus lors du Handisport Open Paris 2022 qui n'ont pas encore été battus. Est-ce que c'est vrai ou est-ce que c'est faux?
There's quite a bit happening already out in the field.
Alors, c'était vrai. Je vois les gens qui sont en train de jouer sur
Women's discus throw F53.
Qui parmi vous est arrivé?
So Ovsi of Ukraine holds that championship record at F51. And she started strongly, 13.24 and a 12.26. So not pulling up trees, but still doing decent enough. She's the first to go. Well, that's not bad, is it? 14.10. She's broken her own championship record set in Dubai. She has gone 58 centimetres further. So a championship record, all 6 throws taken at the same time. Obviously, he's gone first. She leads with a championship record in the F51 category, which she is part of.
400 meters T52.
Rodriguez to go next, who is world record holder in the shot put from earlier this morning. Decent competition, that one.
That's a long old day for her. That would have taken about 3 hours earlier today. So the other throwing competition that's on right now, and yet again it's a seated throwing competition. You've seen Dana Crees going out there. .613 followed by a 602. She's the second to throw in it, so she's obviously in the top 2. Currently lying in second place in that.
Well, there's the Elizabeth Gomez, who, as you can see, has already broken her own world record. Now, Rodriguez holds the F52 world record she set in Sao Paulo last year. She's broken that. It was
And a new world record in the women's discus.
17.12 for her second.
15-meter 12 for Elizabeth Rodriguez.
So Rodriguez Gomez looking to make it a double for the day because she got that world record in the shot put a little earlier
3 attempts left
when taking gold in that.
for her. We might have another world record later on.
Got a bit excited then, said it was a world record, a bit of a technical difficulty. It's not actually. 17.12 is her mark. Her world record is 18.25. So in the F52 category, it is that. In the F53, she also holds that. In the F53, it is a world record. We'll explain that in a bit. Women's 100 metres T11 semi-final. We shall see Gabert, the world record holder, go in heat number 2, semi-final number 2. And this one will have 4 to go. Only 4 lanes available because of the guides. This is the complete visual impairment category. Juliana Moko, we've already seen her in these championships. She is making her second major championship charge. She made her World Championship debut in 2019. Lorena Salvatini has already claimed silver here in the long jump.
Lane 5, silver medalist in the last Paralympic Games, representing People's Republic of China,
Lu Kuqing, who took bronze in Rio back in 2016, silver in 2020. She's won gold back in 2015 in this event as well in Doha. Silver back in Dubai. So Perez Lopez of Venezuela, who is the reigning Paralympic champion, does not start. So there's a bit of a turn up for the books. The reigning Paralympic champion doesn't make it to the start line in the semi-final of the women's 100 metres T11. The first of three. So just explain quickly what happens here, Steph.
So it often takes a little bit longer for the athletes and the guides to set, just because you're having to get two people in position. And as you can see, he's just putting on the tether there. They have to work together as one unit. And so you want to make sure that you are settled in your blocks and everything is as you've rehearsed it time and time again.
Well, Moko will go in 1, Salvatini in 3, and Lu in 5. And away they go, and all get away rather sharpishly. Quickest of all, unsurprisingly, is Lu Kuqing, and Salvatini on the inside is doing her best to get to her. Can Salvatini get there? I think she's going to do it. Salvatini is going to get across first, 12.11 seconds, and that is going to break the record of the championship record of her compatriot, the great Terenzina Guillermina, which has stood for the last 12 years. She's equalled the mark. It's been rounded up to 12.13. That is the equal championship record. So the great Guillermina is now sharing that record with the great Lorena Salvatini. She exploded from the 50-metre mark. Lu Kuqing has set a season best, coming in second. Also a season best for Juliana Moko as well. But that second part of the race, she really got going, didn't she?
That is an amazing example of how you continue to work through the race. You keep your rhythm and you keep your power. And it's important, especially in these T11 heats, because only the first person across the line is guaranteed a spot in the final. You can see the guy there talking to her. I think I'm catching... Actually, I don't speak Portuguese. I have no idea. But you can see him communicating, letting her know where she is, letting her know she needs to move it to get into first position.
Well, the guy's name is Renato Ben-Hur Costa. Ben-Hur was famous. He is as well now. Championship record that's been equalled. Can't take that away. It was a great example, you quite rightly mentioned, of a guide at pace having to talk to the athlete. So it equals the championship record of Guillermina set back in Christchurch in 2011. Lu, season best for her. Moko, season best as well. But at the moment, it is Lorena Salvatini who has done something quite special indeed.
Next athlete will be for Saudi Arabia, Sarah Aliouma.
Great result for Brazil, that. Let's see if we can keep this going. It is the women's discus F53. And this is Elizabeth Rodriguez. We've already seen in record-breaking form this morning.
She was an F52. She's now an F53. She has been recategorized. She holds records at both levels, of course.
So she's now an F53. It's that mark to watch out for. She holds world records in both. And she's got quite a bit to celebrate there. She's broken her own world record in the F53. It was 16 meters 80. It's now 17 meters 12. She broke that record in the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in June and had set the F52 world record at the same Grand Prix the year earlier of 18:25, which is her official lifetime best. So Zoya Ovsi, whose championship record at F51 we saw earlier, drops down to second place. As we go to the F11, complete visual impairment shot put.
And that was a brilliant example of how to spin with a blindfold on and still know where you are in space and where to release that shot put. It's amazing to watch, an amazing body awareness.
Petteri Paitsu of Finland, leader in this, Miljanko Vucic of Croatia, 11.98, and that will send Paitsu into the top 5 at least. Current 1, 2, 3 in this. Vucic 11.98 for Croatia, Madzia 11.12 for Poland, and Gangas of India in third in 10 meters 55.
And then warm up for their 6 throws. So they have as many throws as they want within the 4 minutes, and then it will be.
Goes into 5th place, 8.66. His best ever finish was in his first World Championships, the Stade de Rhône in Lyon. 10 years ago. That was 4th in the discus. It was Spajic of Montenegro. A serious effort there. That's around 11 meters. That should put him into the medal positions for now. And it will do, 10 meters 77, and he goes into 3rd place.
Just a note about the actual shot puts. Different categories will throw with different weights, and in the men's F11 category, they use a 7.26 kilogram shot, which is actually the same weight that you would use in the Olympics.
Well, that's rather heavy by any standards, when you're having to put that amount of pressure through the shoulder, twisting through the torso though. But you are quite right what you mentioned before about the spatial awareness is quite unbelievable. Here's De Silva of Brazil. He was a silver medalist in Tokyo. He's out around the 12-meter mark there.
That is on or right beyond the 12 meters.
His best is 14.16. This may be well enough to put him up into the lead.
And you're right about the pressure through the body. You can see he's wearing a strapping on his wrist just to give him a little bit of extra support and prevent any injuries.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of pressure and power that goes through. 12.04 for De Silva, so he goes in to 1st place after his first attempt. Well, we're going to head back to the track here for the second semi-final in the women's 100 metres. But it was an interesting one earlier when Perez Lopez, the reigning Paralympic champion, did not start in the opening heat, and we still equaled the championship record. So what may have been if she was there? She wasn't, but we move on.
Second semi-final of 3 in this women's 100 metres T11. There is French representation from Tiffany Logette-Lodz. They've got 3 finalists tonight, the hosts on the track. Jerusa dos Santos, hoping to be hopping into the final, the reigning Pan Am and world champion. Gabriel dos Santos, her guide. It's going to be another busy night here of track and long jump action alongside each other. Logette is the only non-major championship medalist in this. Jerusa Gebe holding the world record from the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in March of 11.83.
Retour sur la ligne droite avec la deuxième demi-finale du 100 mètres féminin catégorie T11.
So it's going to be a great reception for France in lane 1. Championship debut, and she's reached the semi-final for Tiffany Logette-Lodz and her guide, Erwan La Roland.
Lane 3.
In lane 3 for China, bronze in the long jump here this week, the 5-time world champion, twice Paralympic champion, Zhou Guha, and her guide Jia Dengpu. In lane 5, the reigning Parapanam and world champion for Brazil, Jerusa Guerra dos Santos. The world record holder and her guide, Gabriel dos
Lane
Santos.
7, representing Spain.
And in lane 7 for Spain, silver in the 100, bronze in the 200 of the last Europeans in Bydgoszcz, Alba Garcia with her guide Diego Folgado. All of her previous successes in F12, which was the medium visual category. Geber, the fastest of this field, because that's the world record for this year. Zhou Guha has run 11.91. This is a contest and a half. It is only the winner guaranteed a spot in the final, plus the next fastest across the 3 heats. This has to be very fast. Sloshet Lords in 1, Zhou Guha in 3, Geber dos Santos in 5, Garcia in 7. Women's 100 meters T11 semi-final. Potentially winner takes all. Championship record equaled in the opening heat. And they're away. A flying start from Zhu in 3, and it had to be. And Jerusa Guerra, the world record holder, going strong in 5. It has to be fast. It is for Guerra. Here she comes all the way. 11.89. Smashes the championship record, which only lasted 10 minutes. 600ths outside her own world record from Sao Paulo in March. Guerra dos Santos takes the place in the final. She will have to wait, but she was very fast too. She's surely in the final as well. 11.89 official now, and a new championship record. That was simply stunning. And Zhu, 12.33, not guaranteed a place in the final at all, I would think. Garcia, a lifetime best in 3rd place. And I can already tell you that Zhu Guha is slower than Liu Kujing in that previous heat. So she is out, but Jerusa Guerra definitely through.
That was such a dominant display by Geber and her guide. And what I love here is that Geber actually has so much power in her. You can see her guide just slowly making sure, nudging her, making sure she stays in a great line, and in a straight line, just really trying to control that power. But that's what you want. You would rather have somebody so explosive that you almost have to hold back than the alternative.
Well, Gabriel dos Santos, her guide, is having to work really hard there to keep up, and then obviously propelling her through. Zhu just got in ahead of her guide, Jia Dengpu, but they managed to just about keep the synchronicity going. But my word, Jerusa Guerra dos Santos went full tilt there. Celebrations continuing for Brazil. They've actually had a few of their athletes up around us in the commentary positions as well. They've been happy to view that. Jerusa Guerra, championship record, 11.89, 600ths outside her world record. Zhu in 2nd place for China is out. Alba Garcia with a lifetime best for Spain. Tiffany Liu had a lifetime best in the heats of 13.12, so that's not bad going from her, frankly.
So back to the shot put F11 men's final. Bill He's the last of those to go with their openers. Once we get through 3 rounds, we'll then split the field down to 8. Marinkovic, a lifetime best of 12.81. Silver at the European Championships back in 2012. He's a silver medalist in 2018 as well. 11.47 for Marinkovic. It puts him up into 5th position after his opener.
What you can see is that there are a variety of different ways to throw. Some will spin, some will do almost a linear motion, whereas he chose pretty much just to stand still and really just take the shot using the movement of his body. And sometimes that is a better option because you have a more solid platform. You miss out on having the added velocity beforehand, but he still managed to put away a very powerful putt with that one.
Well, all the excitement on the track with championship records is making this a very interesting evening all round, whether it be on the track or the field. Gangas with his second, he's 10.55 with his opener in 8th position. And truth be told, that looks a little bit further than 10.55. You saw the 12-metre mark out there. It was pushing out towards it.
You can see there in slow motion, it really is a movement with your entire body. When you're a thrower, you don't just throw with your arms. Well, unless you're a seated thrower. But in the ambulant version, you want to recruit every single muscle in a coordinated way to get as much power as possible.
Well, 11.15, it puts him up in 6th position. I'm not too sure whether the statistics we've been given are correct. As it says, his lifetime best is 18.82. I think that might be a bit of a misprint. Season best is 11.47. And that one there, 11.15, he's in 6th position. Caballero now of Panama. No throw with his opener. He fouled. So the key for him is to make sure he gets a mark.
You can see in the grass there just how heavy that shot put is.
Over the course of a week or 10 days, it's certainly giving that ground a good pounding. Like craters on the moon. Best way to describe that. Because there are marks everywhere because they are so heavy. Caballero has a distance, 8.17. That puts him up into 12th position. As Mijenko Vukic, who took silver in Dubai. He's currently in 3rd position with 11.98. His season best is 12.36. That would put him up into 2nd. And that is over 12. So 12.04, Alessandro da Silva of Brazil is in the silver medal position currently. Olad leads with 13.15. It's not that far, but it's certainly, I suspect, further than da Silva. So it is 12.29. He's pushing up. He's 7 centimetres short of his season best, but it does place him in the silver medal position after his 2nd throw. So the field events will continue. A long jump, as you'll see, in the foreground, and down towards the start of the 100 metres track. We have the 3rd of the semi-finals in the women's 100 metres T11 complete visual impairment category. An equal championship record in the first one, a new championship record in the second one. What will be in this one? So that record you see there in the championship of 12.13 has been equalled and then broken. Firstly by Salvatini, equalled, then broken by Jerusa Geber, who set a mark of 11.89.
Representing Namibia, Ichitile Latvia.
So only 3 to go in this one. Angie Pabon of Colombia not starting. Ishitili of Namibia, who won silver in the 400 metres here at these championships, will go in lane 3. Thalita Simplicio, she's already won gold in the 400. Can she add to it in the 100? Ayola Didai, 6th in the long jump. Wonderful mask. Bronze medalist in 2014 in Swansea in this event. Well, that makes you look happy all the time, doesn't it? A mask like that. Maybe I should get one.
Well, it's a cheetah mask because she's about to go very fast.
You put no pressure on her whatsoever. Now, I like that one. Cactus or cacti, more than one. So Brazil, in the opening 2 heats, haven't done too badly, have they? Thalita Simplicio, she's already got gold in the 400 metres, so perhaps it might be a championship record for her. Let's see. So no Pabon, she doesn't start. Ishitili will go from 3, Simplicio in 5, and Didai in lane 7. Semi-final number 3, women's 100 metres, T11. And it is Simplicio. He gets away very fast in the middle there. You can see really stretching out with that pink hair and green shorts on. And at the moment, she's getting pressured by Ishitili, but it is 12:44. It is Simplicio who goes across. Ishitili made a late charge at it, but it was a wonderful run from Thalita Simplicio. She burst out at the beginning, and she had enough in the end to hold off the challenge of the Namibian in Ishitili, just as she did in the 400 metres final. So they've had a bit of a ding-dong battle already in these championships, those two. Ayola coming in 3rd place. Ishitili 12.50, Simplicio 12.45. She goes through. Ishitili will miss out though. Her time certainly not as fast as the time of Luku Quing, who came 2nd in that opening heat.
And that just shows how important it is to fight in these semifinals for that first spot. I mean, these women have already competed once this morning, and you can see the strapping on Simplicio's leg, but she does not have the luxury of taking it easy in this heat. She has to go full throttle every single round.
Yes, an amazing evening, and the men's shot put F11 still leading.
Well, she's just held off the fast finishing Ishitili, and they are fine margins, aren't they? If you look at it, it's about 50 centimetres or so, and that's the difference between going through to a final and the difference between going out of this T11 women's 100 metres competition. So no start from Pabon. Simplicio takes it in 12.45 and goes through. Ishitili will miss out on making it through to the final, as will Ayola Didai of Italy. And the remarkable thing is there's been a slight headwind as well into these runners going this way.
So there's 3 Brazilians and 1 Chinese in that final. Lu Kujing qualifying as the fastest loser. And if I can point you towards the Pan Am final in Lima 4 years ago, the 1, 2, 3 in that. Geber Brazil, Simplicio Brazil, Salvatini Brazil, and they're in this World Championship final here. Well, we've been really thrilled by the long jump finals so far this week here. We're still 15 minutes away from the start. T36 it will be, as we return to the men's shot put final. F11 complete visual impairment, and Alessandro da Silva currently in the bronze medal position, 12.04. Rajab Chetty of Kenya did not start this, so we have had 15 who've got underway and only one who's not had a mark yet, Kasimov of Azerbaijan. That is a monstrous effort. It's beyond 12 meters by Alessandro da Silva.
La première place provisoire.
Brazil have had a remarkable day. That might be about to make it a bit better. The man who's won the discus in the last two Paralympic Games goes up into silver in the shot. He's won the last two Caraban titles in this.
Silva for Brazil, 12-meter 88.
He's looking good. The reigning discus world champion from London 2017 and Dubai 2019. Gasimov missed out in the first round. This is his opening to change all that. That is just shy of 12 meters, but that gets him up close to the medals. It'll put him in the top half dozen at the very least.
10-meter 96. It's a personal best for the athletes with
10.96 for Gasimov. It does move him up, lifetime best, and into the top 8, certainly in 8th place.
The men in this shot put are in the same visual impairment category as the women that we just saw run, and you can see the different ways in which the guides can really impact the performance. And so the job of the guide here is to set them up in the circle where they need to be, orient them so they know what direction that they need to throw, and then also be that eye just to give them that little bit of encouragement or that little bit of critique in between rounds.
Well, shot put to long jump. This is due to get underway very shortly indeed. We still have track action to come. There's that world record and championship record held by Evgeny Tursunov, who, for obvious reasons, is not here. Rodrigo Pereira of Brazil, who have been having a pretty good night. The man from Brazil who's the gold medalist from the Caraban American Games. Next to him, Anastasios Petropoulos of Greece. His lifetime best set this year of 5.30 is at Turganov. He was 7th in 2019 in Dubai from Uzbekistan, who've also been having good championships. Omar Acosta, 6th back in Tokyo in 2020. And William Stedman, who's already won a silver medal here over 400 meters. He took silver in this in Tokyo 2020. Looking for a second medal of these games. Marian Petria of Romania, the 6th of the men's long jump T36 competitors. Mokhtar Didan of Algeria, 5.53, his lifetime best, so he'll be hoping to be up there knocking around those medals. Roman Pavlik of Ukraine, Paralympic champion back in 2012. He's twice a champion in world and European. Gold in 13, gold in 14 as well in Swansea. Asa Almeida, the 10th of those, just outside the medals in Tokyo. He came 4th. This man, though, European champion back in 2018 in Berlin, Alexander Litvinenko of Ukraine. The field for the men's long jump T36 final due to get underway very shortly indeed. Season best for Turganov of 5.69. Pereira just behind him with 5.67. William Stedman already a brilliant championships for him with that silver in the 400. And Almeida, look at that season best, 5.76, which would be a championship record if he can manage that. And there is absolutely no breath of wind to speak about whatsoever. That's what you like to see if you're an athlete. Not once have we had to look at the speed being plus 2.0 being the limit you can go to. Not once have we had to look at it. In fact, in those sprint races we saw on the track just a moment or two ago, there was a slight headwind. So we haven't had to worry at all about looking at tailwinds and worrying about championship or world records. It hasn't been an issue as we're just about ready to get underway in the long jump.
You can see on the runway right now, it's looking a little bit cluttered, a little bit busy, but those markers on either side, they are for the athlete and for their coach. That's how they set their runway. They'll always have one, which is their starting point. Sometimes they'll have what's called a check about halfway down, just to let them know where they're at and how accurate they hope to be on the board.
Well, he's a perennial silver medalist, this man. It was 2016 he picked up silver, and in 2017 and 19 in the Worlds. Let's see what he can do here. Rodrigo Pereira of Brazil, the first to go in the men's long jump T36 coordination impairment category. No issue at all with the jump. So we've seen a lot today with the bigger ball for the visual impairment, but this, we're back to normal with the plasticine, a smaller takeoff area. And when we're looking across at those numbers on the side, we'll get a better indication of where the athlete is in terms of what they've come up with in a jump. So Pereira's best this season of 5.67 is also his lifetime best, 5.49 for him. A solid enough start for the Brazilian, who went ahead of everyone else. Time now, though, to go to a final. This should be decent indeed, Will Downing.
Some absolutely magnificent names for this men's 100 meters T13. This is the category where Jason Smith won 21 major titles. We've got very much all the champions here, apart from Smith, who's still the Paralympic champion and presumably watching this at home. Jonas Nambala, the 400 world champion, is in 1. Vegard Sverd of Norway in 2. 8th in the European 100 meters final in Big Gosh 2 years ago. The White Tiger for Australia, the World Championship silver medalist in 2019, bronze at the Paralympics in 2016, Chad Paris. Skandarat Mani, the 400 Paralympic champion, does not start in 4, but there's the T12 European World and Paralympic champion in 5, Salam Kashafali, the new world record holder. In lane 6, for Brazil, the Pan Am champion, Fabrizio Barros, world silver in T12 in 2019. In lane 7, for Italy, the European silver medalist 2 years ago in Big Gosh, Axel Zorzi, representing the host nation France. And in lane 8, the new Southeast Asian Games 100, 200, 400 champion for Thailand, Jacqueline Damane. So no Skandarat Mani, he does not start. Kashafali, 10.55 is season best, ran 10.37 at the Bislett Games. The championship record, 10.54 from Jason Smith 4 years ago, claiming this title in Dubai. Sverd, the only one of the field not to have won a major championship medal before. Chad Paris broke through in 2013. So many major medals. So Noat Mani, Kashfali in 5 will be the hot favourite. Nambala in 1, Sverd 2, Paris 3, Kashafali 5, Barris 6, Zorzi 7, Damane 8. The men's 100 metres final is underway. Great start from Kashafali and from Chad Paris as well. But it's Kashafali all the way ahead of Barris. Kashafali's going to take it ahead of Paris. 10, 4, 5. What a tremendous victory. The next generation's here, and he is Norwegian. Salam Kashafali, the fastest para 100 metres in T13 we have seen. He's run faster at the Bislett Games. It is a championship record. At the very least, it's Kashafali's title. Barros in second place, I think. Chad Paris was up there as well. Damane with a new Asian record of 10.86, but Kashafali is the winner. He is the champion, definitively. And Paris might have just been edged out into 4th place by 100th of a second. Sorzy 5th for France. Kashafali can well celebrate a great win for Norway. We've seen his potential and he is delivering on it. He's a Norwegian able-bodied champion. Reached the final of the European Under-23s, the European Under-23s in 2015 in Tallinn. Chad Paris. Well, he's been brought in to celebrate, but Kashafali takes it. Championship record 10.45. Barros gets the silver. Daminet and Paris were battling for the bronze. Officially, for the moment, it's actually Daminet with the bronze. Brilliant finish by Kashafali, and the rest wasn't bad either.
I think that's where he really sets himself apart. It was fairly even until about 30 meters, and then he just seems to carry on with the speed. And what I like about it is he continues to accelerate right up until 60, 70 meters. He takes his time. He keeps building that speed. And I think it's almost easy to ask the question when you're watching this, well, does that visual impairment really have an effect? And I guess the best way almost to think about it is, for example, in yoga, one of the ways to increase the difficulty of a pose is by closing your eyes, because it really affects your balance. And when you consider that they're having to put this force and this power in, yes, there's the obvious thing of seeing where your competitors are and knowing where the finish line is, but you have to do that extra work of proprioception and just managing your limbs.
Kashafali well out in front, with Barros taking the silver. I don't know if Daminet realizes yet he has got the bronze. Kashafali 10.45. Barros the silver. Daminet the bronze, and Paris in 4th place.
Well, I think Daminet does know that he's picked it up. You do feel sorry for him, though, because he's just missed out on his moment out on the track because the system didn't work and he wasn't sure, and he has made it an Asian record.
Kashafali succeeds Jason Smith as the T13 men's 100 meters champion. His predecessor was a magnificent champion. Kashafali can dominate for years and years to come.
I mean, I'd like to see him long jump. I thought maybe he might go over there and take a celebratory jump.
He has been in it before. He was in the European Championships and he finished 7th. He's obviously considered sprinting to be his strength, and he would be right. But he is one of the top Norwegian 100 meters athletes anyway, globally. Well, the long jump can now begin in earnest. Pereira leading for Brazil, who've had some day of it. 5.49, Turganov 5.44 in 2nd place for Uzbekistan, and Stedman in 3rd for New Zealand after his great campaign and winning silver in the 100 meters.
Well, Mokta Didan, his opening jump, the Algerian. Well, it's been a rather adrenaline pumping night already on the track. How did we go in the field? Well, I'll tell you how we go in the field. He sets a new African record, does Didan, 5.56, and goes in the 1st position. 5.53 was his lifetime best before that. So the Algerian, with his opener, Well, Pavlik will have to deal with a little bit more wind. Not much, but a little bit more. I'll ask Steph Reed a question about that in just a moment or two's time after Roman Pavlik, the 2012 gold medalist from London, has had his jump. Twice a medalist in World Championships, gold in 2013, silver in 2015, as he looks to get himself back onto the rostrum at World Games. So Pavlik on the runway, and he's off. Well, it looked okay on the board. He's been given the white flag. Also twice a silver medalist at European Championships, and he's won a gold as well at European Championships back in 2014. When you have a slight wind as we're waiting for the jump to come up, we'll ask you about that in just a moment or two ago. Pavlik 540 for that. He goes fifth as we move away from the long jump, because next up we are on the track, and this is the speed of what you'll see those races go around. So this is a real bird's eye view. We work our way around there to the seated discus, and in front of us we'll have the men's 200 metres T35 final, which contains the world and European champion and championship record holder Igor Svirtov of Ukraine.
Lane 1, representing Ecuador,
Anthony Rojas, 18 years of age. His first major championship, lifetime best of 29.20 goes from lane 1. Matthew Paynton, also in his first major, 21 years of age for him.
Lane 3, representing
Someone slightly older, Hernan Barreto of Argentina, who is a bronze medalist in 2012 and 2016. He's the reigning Caraban American Games champion though. Here is the championship record holder, also the world and European champion, looking to defend his title from 2019, Igor Svirtov of Ukraine. Silver in the Paralympic Games. Kyle Keyworth, 24 years of age, goes in lane 5. Fabio Bourdignon of Brazil, silver medalist back in his home Paralympics in 2016. Also took a bronze in London in 2017. Marshall Zachary of the United States will go from lane 7. Best of 4th in London, just missing out on the medal there. And the second of the Argentinians, Diego Gonzalez, who also, like Zachary, just missed out on a medal, but at 2016 in Rio, he finished in 4th position. Wouldn't he have liked to have got a medal in Brazil? But he didn't. Now, though, is another opportunity. So 8 will go. World record is 23 seconds dead, set by Dmitry Safronov in Tokyo back in September 2021. Igor Svirtov, the championship record of 23:04. Defending champion, and he will go in lane 4 on your left of your screen. Barreto, loads of experience for the man who's the Parapan American gold medalist from 2019. So we're set. Men's 200 metres T35 is underway, and getting away really quick was Fabio Bourdignon in lane 6, but also Svirtov on the inside. Let's look at him roaring around in the all yellow top and blue shorts. He is in the lead by quite some distance. It is Bourdignon who is in second position and Barreto in third, but all out in front. He's going to win it by a mile, 23.30. So he misses out on breaking his own championship record but he does the double and backs it up from 2019. Does Igor Sviatov. Barretto falls as he goes across the line. A season best though for Sviatov of 23.30. He had daylight between him and the rest of the field. A wonderful run. Barretto in a new America's record in 25.37. That shows you how far behind. 2.0 seconds between first and second. When was the last time you ever saw that happen? I don't know if I ever have. That was remarkable. Bourdignon, who started off extremely quickly, the Brazilian, he set a lifetime best and picked up 25.40 seconds for a bronze medal for him. Keyworth in fourth position, just missing out. But it was Bourdignon who got away quickest of all, the man who took silver back in Rio in 2016. He got away quick, but that man there, Sviatov, even quicker.
You could tell he was going to run an aggressive bend just by the way he set up his blocks. He set them up because he wants to run in a straight line for as long as possible before hitting that curve, and he just did all of the damage there and managed to hold his form to the end. Now this category is a T35, which means that there's a severe to moderate impairment in their legs, and looking back at the field, you might not see the classic high knee sprinting, but that's just because they don't have necessarily the range of their muscles, but it doesn't mean that they can't still run fast. And you can see Barretto, he is fighting against that lactic and he just falls across the line, but that is a level of sometimes exertion that you have to do, and it was nice to see as well. He got up, he realized he won, and he fell again because he was so happy.
Yeah, Barretto going across just in front of his South American competitor, Bourdignon. It's interesting when you talk about this category and the muscle twitching and impairment, because I'm sure on the blocks then, when Sviatov was on the blocks, there was a slight twitch in his left leg, I think it was, just on the blocks with his foot just before he took off. Now, some people might think that is almost looks like a possible false start, but it was just a twitch. He didn't actually move off the blocks. But when he took off and when he did go, he was mighty quick. Great to see all the athletes getting in there for a picture. That's wonderful. The competitors on the track, they're certainly hard at it, but they're certainly friends off the track as well. So Sviatov takes it, season best, the gold medal for him. He repeats from 2019. Barretto with the America's record in silver and a lifetime best for Fabio Bourdignon, who takes the bronze.
It's an interesting point about the twitching at the start. Actually, in this category, because there can be involuntary muscle movement, they actually turn the pressure plates off, which means that the judges are watching and they are making a visual call, but they recognize that there will be a little bit of movement in the blocks.
So back to the long jump and the T36 final. We're into round two, and the man lying in third spot for Uzbekistan is at Serginov. 5:44 in the opening round. Looking around the same mark again, Mokhtar Didan of Algeria with that African record of 5:56 has him in the lead at present.
Uzbekistan has been doing so well in the long jump events with 2 golds. I find now that when I see an Uzbekistan athlete in the lineup, I'm definitely paying attention, because you know that they have an excellent long jump coach in that country. That is an example of exactly where you want your foot to be on the board, right in the middle, getting the full use of that wooden takeoff board.
And Turganov is in the lead, 5:75 to equal the championship record of Evgeny Tesanov in Doha 8 years ago.
Now, if that foot touched the red part, then that would be a foul. And as a long jumper, what you want to do is basically not give any distance away. So you're trying to jump as close to the red board as possible without getting that dreaded foul.
So next up, Acosta of Colombia in 6 spot 5:36. I should say about Turganov, he finished 7th in the last World Championship long jump final. Didn't register a mark in Tokyo at all. So Acosta missing out this time. Well, at least it wasn't in the plasticine.
Well, that is an example of what you don't want to do. So if your foot goes over the board, and in that case it clearly is over the board, it registers as a foul. But that is exactly why they have a camera. It means that there's no discrepancy. If there is an appeal, they can clearly show the evidence.
I'm not quite sure they needed the camera that time. Well, there's so much going on in this stadium right now. So Turganov leads that long jump. As we go to the final of the men's 200 meters T37, the second strongest of the coordination impairment categories.
Next final is on the track.
Very impressive field in this.
T37. Lane 1, representing India.
Championship debut for India for Srinash Trivedi. He's 17 years old, 6th in the 100 meters final. In lane 2, another championship debut on 7th in the 100 meters, the 16-year-old Mikola Raiski. In lane 3, the new world 100 meters champion for Brazil, Ricardo Gomes. Bronze in the last World Championships in this 200 meters. The former African Games and World Champion for Algeria in lane 4, Sofiane Hamdi. In lane 5, for Brazil, bronze in the 100 meters here this week, Christian Luis da Costa. In lane 6, for Indonesia, the Asian Games champion, and the new 100, 200, 400 Southeast Asian Games champion, Saptogo Purnomo. In lane 7, for Poland, bronze in the 400 meters, and the former European champion in 2018 200, 400, Michał Kukowski. And in lane 8, for Ukraine, silver in the 400 meters in the last 2 European Championships, Yaroslav Okapinski. They did take silver in Berlin as well in the 200 in 2018. So this is a great field. The only previous athletes not to have won championship medals are the 2 David Hunts in 1 and 2. Fastest of the field this year, Christian Luis da Costa of Brazil in lane 5. So Trivedi in 1, Raiski in 2, Gomes 3, Hamdi 4, Luis da Costa 5, Purnomo 6, Kukowski 7, and Okapinski of Ukraine in lane 8. The reigning Paralympic champion, Nick Mayhew, is the world record holder. He has moved to T38. Given a long lead up to get set as well. Hamdi and Luis da Costa around very well. And Kukowski for Poland going great in lane 7. Purnomo in 6-2. This is going to be tight when it straightens up. But going very well in 3 is Ricardo Gomes. He took that bend really well. Well clear. It's him against the clock. It's going to be fast. 22.59. Gomes takes it. Luis da Costa up there in 2nd place. And a great victory for Ricardo Gomes. Unofficially equaling the championship record. And Purnomo looks set to have fulfilled his dreams as well. Brazil take another gold on a truly golden night for them. Ricardo Gomes equals Andre Verdommen's championship record from 2015 in Doha for the ORPC. Gomes well clear. It is a Brazil 1-2 as Christian Luis da Costa takes the silver medal. They're wearing different singlets, but the result the same, and Purnomo does indeed take the bronze again for Indonesia. Silver in the 100, and now bronze in the 200 this week. It is his best global championship ever after bronzes in the previous World Championships in Dubai and the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. But Brazil continue to get the right metal.
That was an amazing bend by Gomez, and once again you could see him set up his blocks quite aggressively. You can see that his hand is just touching the outside of his lane there, but that's fine as long as you're not impeding anyone else. And what a great camera shot of behind as you can see the speed that he is building. Now in the T37 category, again, it's a coordination impairment, but it's on one side of the body. So you have different forces going through your body, and every single step you're having to make adjustments, and you can see him fighting to hold on. He knows that is a big run there, and that is the reward for winning. He had such an amazing celebration, and it was just the first person he went over to celebrate with was his coach. And that's because that is years of training, years of hard work going into that, and there is just a release of emotion. And just in case you're wondering what it's like to be an elite athlete at this level, his schedule has been busy. There was a 100-meter heat on the 9th, a 100-meter heat on the 10th. He did get a day off. A 200-meter heat this morning, a 200-meter heat this evening, a final, and finally, he can let it all go.
He certainly can. A classic night for Brazil. They look like they could sweep the decks in that women's T11 100 final. Tomorrow night, they've got the gold here spectacularly. Brazil 1 and 2 in this men's 200 meters T37 final. Ricardo Gomez with the championship record and the gold for Brazil. Christian Luis da Costa the silver, and Saptoyogo Purnamo the bronze for Indonesia. The two 16-year-olds 7th and 8th, but they will have many more finals to come. Oh, what a night. What a win, really, for Ricardo Gomez. A double world champion over 100 and 200. His first championship golds. A lot for him to celebrate this week in Paris. And a very good reason for him to come back around this time next year. He was well clear of Luis da Costa in the end. And what's better than having the top athlete in the world having the top two?
That was great from da Costa. He was just fixing his hair there ahead of the photos. Those photos are going to be for a lifetime, so you do want them to look good.
Well, from two Brazilians who picked up medals on the track, a Brazilian in the background there, you just saw Asa Amada, who just jumped, but he fouled, so he has 2 fouls so far. This is the last jump of the second round. This is Alexander Litvinenko of Ukraine, who's currently in 7th position, 5:32 with his opener, the European champion from 2018 in Berlin. No breeze at all. He's ready to go. Well, it's an illegal jump, but from the naked eye, it was almost as if he may have lost a bit of rhythm as he went to the board. Then I'd have to look at it again, but he's certainly got a lot more left in him. 5:67, so 35 centimetres more for his lifetime best. What do you make of this, Steph?
Well, long jumping is quite simple. Now, that doesn't mean that it's easy, but it's simple. I mean, basically, you just want to generate as much speed as possible on the runway and then translate that up into both height and distance. And sometimes, as you're sprinting, you know that you have to prepare your body to take off. There could be a few adjustments, and the key is to minimize that effect on your velocity as much as possible.
Well, he's improved. He's gone from 7th to 5th, 5:52. So he's gradually working his way up the leaderboard. Is Litvinenko. And that's the end of the second round of jumps. And we'll come back to the men's long jump T36 final. But now we have a great final on the track, the women's 200 metres T13 final. Those records held by Amara Duran when she was a T13 athlete. Sadly, her eyesight has deteriorated since those records were set in Christchurch in 2011. She's now a T12 athlete and she'll be going later on this evening. Field of 8, Célia Turquet of France, 22 years of age. France are certainly blooding plenty of athletes here ahead of Paris next year. Candela Cerudo, 7th in the 100 metres here already. She's had a lifetime best in her heat qualifying for this. Naren Kirkov, who was 6th in the 100. She also competed in the 200 in 2020 in Tokyo. Adi Iglesias, she's already picked up a medal at these championships. She was pipped to silver in the 100 metres. She also took silver in this in 2019. And there's a lady who finished behind her in the 100 here, Bianca Borghella of Canada. Bronze in the 100, her first major championships. And Brazil, what can they do in this one? Ryan Suarez de Silva. Gold in the 400 back in 2019 in Dubai, so half the distance here. Alice Mattei of France, 22-year-old, lifetime best in her heat. I saw her at the hotel a bit earlier. She looked very relaxed indeed, as she does there. This lady, plenty of experience. European champion in 2016. Nantanine Keita took silver back in Beijing in 2008. So 4, 5 and 6, the season best times to look out for. Iglesias, Borghella and Suarez de Silva. Iglesias already a silver medal here in the 100, Borghella with the bronze. They're just about ready to go in the women's 200 metres T13, least of the visual impairment categories. So a slight breeze behind them. I don't think it's going to affect the making of any records. It will just die down, no doubt. But a slight breeze and tailwind behind them, and they get away. And Keita on the outside in lane 8 has blasted out of the blocks, but really working her way up on the inside there. Adi Iglesias, who you would expect. She's very fast over that first 100. Now here comes Borghella and Suarez de Silva and Keita down the outside. Borghella's on the chase after Iglesias. She tried this in the 100 metres. It didn't work out. I don't think it's going to work out in this either. And it is Adi Iglesias who takes it from Borghella. And in lane 3, it's Erin Kirkov of the United States who's picked up a bronze medal. 24:84 is the time unofficially for Adi Iglesias, who claims a gold medal to go with her silver medal in the 100 metres. Well, she took silver in this 4 years ago. She's got one better this time. Season best for her, 24:86 has been ratified at. Borghella, a lifetime best for her, 25 on the dot. She picks up a silver to go with that bronze in the 100. And it's Kirkov with a lifetime best, 25:58, the American, who picks up the bronze medal. So joy all around. Hugs from Keita there, the experienced one who was in lane 8. She had a good start, but that lady there, Adi Iglesias, she always looks relaxed, doesn't she? She ran that first 100 in a very fast time. And she had enough in the end.
It was great to see her run such a good bend. I mean, she ran the same time as Valieva in the 100 and unfortunately just lost out on the photo finish, and she did not want to leave anything to chance that time. She got herself such a good lead going around the bend. But it was really interesting to see the challenge from Borghella. She was gaining. Borghella definitely hadn't given up. She had her in her sights. And it's also really impressive considering this is her first championships, because often your instinct when you're in that position is to try harder and you get tense and you start putting in more effort, when actually what you need to do is relax and be patient. But that feels strange because you think, no, I should be trying harder. And that showed real maturity from Borghella.
Well, they say to leave it all out there in a major championship. There were 2 season bests and 4 lifetime bests amongst 8 athletes there. So you cannot complain about the workload and effort which has gone into it. That lady there set herself a season best. Before this, it was 25.18. So she took a bit of time off that one, and her lifetime best is 24.10. So Iglesias has picked up that gold medal she's been craving. And Borgella, for the youngster, what a championship she's having. Quite incredible. So Iglesias in a season best takes gold. Borgella of Canada, lifetime best for her in silver. And Erin Kirchhoff, a lifetime best for her in the bronze medal position. And Keita with a season best. Pate and Cerudo of France and Argentina, respectively, lifetime bests for them.
Well, the crowds in the home straight still enjoying this. 3 records in the top 3. Championship record for Turgenov to lead. William Steadman flying right now, 5:71, a new Oceania record for him, having climbed silver in the 100 meters. And he's not done yet. This is his 3rd round attempt. Trying to use the board as solidly as possible. Mokhtar Dadan with an African record, 5:56 in the bronze medal position right now. And he's only in the medals, by the way, Dadan, by 1 centimetre. Steadman is 4 centimetres off Turgenov's lead. Not quite up to the standard he set in the 2 previous rounds.
I really like that runway. You can see that there is a very definite rhythm to that, and he's just gaining with each step as he goes. And that was close. Actually, I did wonder if it was a foul, but that is about as close as you can get. The thing is now, he's in the 3rd round. He is only 4 centimeters off of gold, and he's already set an area record. And when you're in the 3rd round and you know that conditions are great and you are in good shape, that gives you so much freedom and excitement.
5:08 for Steadman, stays in 2nd place. A little bit down on previous efforts. Going strong with the disco feeling here. Marion Petria, who's had a season's best in the 1st round. That was 3:74. Would need quite an improvement to get into the top 8.
In the stadium, when the long jumpers are jumping right now, you've got not only the crowd clapping along, but you've also got on the sound system a drum beat going as well, to the point that when they're in sync, you can actually feel the sound through your body. And that's one of the best things about long jump. With the 100 meters, it's over so quickly and you can't really get the crowd going, but when you're on the long jump, you can really make them part of the experience.
He stays in 9th place. We won't see him for the rest of the competition, but he has had a season's best for the peak of the campaign. So there's only 19 centimetres between the top 3, 23 centimetres between the top 5. Game on. Mokhtar Dadan with that African record, 5:56, obviously a lifetime best in the bronze medal position right now. The African record holder he already was. He's extended that tonight by 3 centimetres. Doesn't quite look as if it's an improvement, but he's showing good consistency anyway.
What I like about his technique there, you can see with his right leg, right leg, as he takes off, he really drives that knee and holds that knee drive, because before you prepare for the landing, you want to get as much height and as much float as possible. Any budding long jumpers out there, that is a good knee drive to follow.
5:34, stays in the bronze medal position. Roman Pavlik is knocking on the door of greatness again, and we have some more greats in the next 100 metres final to watch.
Men's 100 metres T64 final. Those competing with lower limb prosthesis affected by limb deficiency and leg length difference. So this has 4 T62s and 4 T64s competing in it. And there are 2 separate world and championship records. Blake Leaper, who set a lifetime best in his heat. He took silver way back in 2013 in Lyon. He'll go in lane 1. Hunter Woodhall, whose wife, Tara Davis Woodhall, a competitor herself, will be watching on keenly. Johannes Floors, who runs for the Bayer Leverkusen club, is the reigning champion at this. Interesting, Sherman Geety, he had a slight slip in his heat before this and was restarted, and he went through and he's here, which is a good thing. Felix Streng, he's second of the Germans. Season best in his heat, took bronze back in 2016. He was the European champion in 2018. Olivier Hendricks, the reigning European champion, to the left there. But inside him, Manu of Italy set a new European record in his heat. This man set a lifetime best in his heat as he looks to add to his European Championship title. And Johnny Peacock, you might find it strange going from lane 8. I don't think I've seen him here before. Double Paralympic gold medalist in 2012 and 2016. Bronze medalist in 2020. He is also a double gold medalist in 13 and 17 in this event. So 8 to go. A mixture of T62s and T64s.
You can just see there the athletes aren't quite settled with their prosthetic legs. We saw Johnny adjusting his. Right now we see Manu adjusting his. And what they're doing is sometimes when it's really hot, well, the reality is, as an amputee, your stump can get sweaty. The material that is around the leg, it's not plastic, but it can feel like plastic, and there's nowhere for it to go. And the way the legs stay on is through a vacuum suction system. And when you are about to sprint at top speed, you want to make sure that system is set and secure. And they've done exactly what they should do. They've not panicked. They've just let the starting judge know, I am not ready yet. And so they're giving them a little bit of extra time.
There's a great deal of etiquette in para-athletics, isn't there?
Etiquette in what sense?
As in all the athletes. There's no rushing. There's no, will you hurry up? We need to get on with this. Everyone accepts the fact that there may be an issue every now and then, and they have to make sure that they can allow their competitors, their fellow competitors, to get themselves ready, which is the right and proper thing to do.
Yes, and it's an element of maturity, not only for yourself, you have to take that time, but also just to respect that each athlete is here to do their absolute best, and you want them to be at their best. Again, Manu had his hand up. He's still not quite happy, and so he's taking his time. He's going to reset that system. As you can see, a lot of the sockets are made out of carbon fiber. So if you can imagine having carbon fiber directly on your skin, that wouldn't feel great. So what we have are these inner liners, and it's made of a material that just really helps to protect the skin. Because one of the biggest issues with amputees in general, but especially when you're running and putting a lot of force and pressure through your skin, is that you can get blisters. And if those blisters get infected, then that can become quite an issue to the point where you can't wear your legs. So again, this taking your time to set this right is really, really important.
Pay attention to the start of the men's 100 meters T64.
Well, it's great to have an expert who can explain those type of things in layman's terms. So thank you very much, Steph, for that. As always, Olivier Hendricks, the European champion, to our left. To the right of Manu is just sitting down and collecting his thoughts.
Un petit passage par les concours avec le résultat final du lancer du poids.
We'll be ready to get underway shortly. There's no rush. We have got plenty of field action happening as well.
It is his championship debut. It's worth remembering that. And he's absolutely right not to panic, not to say, right, well, I've not been here before, so I'll just go. And he qualified very fast. He was sensational in the first round heats. But there are a lot of athletes, inexperienced, who could come along and say, right, well, I'm going to have to do it, and not be settled and not perform. And instead, he's just said, no, conditions have to be right here. And you have to admire him for that, personally speaking.
This can be quite a stressful situation because when you're using a prosthetic leg, you need it to feel like your body. And you can see he's actually been given a yellow card there. And I suspect perhaps that is for a time violation. I've not seen this happen before, so I'm not entirely sure. But at this moment, I mean, there's nothing else he can do. He's got to make sure that that's right.
Well, I guess it's difficult to make a decision on that. If someone does have an issue, then they have an issue. Great design on his blade, isn't it? Pirates. Look like pirates. Lego pirates. Anyway. We've taken our break now. They've taken theirs. We're ready to go. So just to remind you, Johannes Floors, who is in lane 3, is the reigning champion. That man there, Johnny Peacock, closest to us, is twice a Paralympic champion and twice a world champion. Felix Streng, season best in his heat. And they're away, and someone went early. I thought I saw a flicker, but I couldn't see who it was actually from. It looked like it was in the middle. Now, I could be wrong.
I saw a flicker as well, and by my eye, I did think it was Geety.
Well, Geety went in the heat, and there was an issue in that when he slipped because it was his starting blocks which went.
We are never without drama in parasport, are we?
We aren't at all. So we've had the weight beforehand, and Geety, well, he got away with it in the heat because the blocks broke. Well, he didn't actually break as such. He lifted his back. You'll see it here.
You can see that there was a movement, and actually for this category as well, it is optional whether or not you want to use blocks, and so they don't have the pressure plates on the blocks. Normally we would see a reaction time, and if it's below a certain amount, then it would be an automatic false start. But at this point, it is the judge making a visual observation, and if he can see that someone isn't settled, then he's quite right to call the field back.
Well, Geety is still there. The official chatted with him.
You can see Manu there once again adjusting his leg and taking the opportunity.
Well, Johnny Peacock's also making a few adjustments as well. Might have to put this session back to midnight.
This is a moment now there where all of the athletes just have to gather themselves, just forget what's happened, and remember nothing has changed. It's still the same job.
So his blade slightly moved. Just slightly. And his back arched up if you see it from the side. But we are ready to start again. Well, he did that in his heat, and he won it very well. Is history going to repeat itself for Geety of Costa Rica, who was a silver medalist in Tokyo 2020. He looks to win a gold in Paris 2023. We are set and ready to go the second time. This time they get away with no problems at all, and getting away fast was Streng next to Gaety, but Gaety has come back at him and looking really good is Manu from Italy. It's Manu, it's Gaety, it's Manu who gets it in a time of 10.71. Well, he hasn't beaten his lifetime best. 10.71. He's outside the championship and world record, but he won't care. It's Italy who take the gold medal. Maxel Manu, he blasted down the last 30 or 40 metres. Gaety did his best to catch him. He couldn't get there. He takes a silver medal again, as he did in Tokyo. And Felix Streng of Germany was the quickest, I thought, to get out. Season best in his heat. He has to accept bronze, as he did in 2016 in Rio. But it's Italy who take gold, Costa Rica in silver, and it's Germany who pick up the bronze medal. Johannes Flors, who was the reigning champion, comes in fourth place, just behind Streng. So no back-to-back for him. Disappointment as well for the former two-time world champion and Paralympic champion Johnny Peacock, you saw just there. But Manu, well, he took his time at the beginning. He got his prosthetic right, and then he just took off. He wasn't the quickest out of the blocks, but gee, he was quick in that second 50.
I mean, yeah, he took his time out of the blocks as well, but then he just clawed his way through the field. You can see he got left behind a little bit, but again, he didn't panic. He just kept driving as hard as he could right through the line, and Gaety did the same thing. He knew he was coming.
Well, my goodness, he was having a look across at the clock as he went across the line, and if he can sort that start out, then those world championship records will be in a bit of trouble. He's having a look across. He likes what he sees. He is the new world champion at the 100 meters T64 category.
It's great to see too that the man at the top of this category keeps, you can see the reactions. They're cheering for Italy. They're fully engaged. I mean, there was such a dramatic build-up.
Isn't that wonderful to see? There's his daughter, sharing the joy. The family are happy. Oh, lost his leg beforehand, almost lost his daughter. Good catch. He's gone for the bigger option instead, gone for the son.
I mean, that is most definitely the coolest dad right now.
Wonderful to see, great stuff. Maxel Manu of Italy, the new world champion at the men's 100 meters T64. Shemin Gaety picks up a silver to go with his silver in Tokyo, and Felix Streng a bronze for the German. Johannes Flors just outside the medals, the former world champion. So back to the long jump.
Almeida down in sixth place for Brazil. 5:54 is best coming in the previous round, just into round 4 now. Turgenov leading with that championship record.
He equaled the championship record by 4 meters 92 for Almeida. He went 6th of the
5:75 for Turgenov earlier. Almeida, very similar to what we saw with Fleur Young earlier in the competition. 2 misses, needed a mark in round 3 and a sufficient mark to stay in. He got that of 5:54 for survival, if nothing else. 4:92, he does not improve. And just looking for a little bit of stability to move up the field. He's a 5:76 man, which right now would be good enough for the lead. 5:76 is lifetime best this year. Remember, we're going up in ascending order from halfway for rounds 4 and 5, and then there'll be a reset for round 6. The rules changing recently there. Didan of Algeria, 5:56 The new African record in round one. Has been able to match it. It's been ever decreasing circles since then. 5:46, 5:34. And that might just have potentially continued the pattern. Certainly it's around his third attempt mark.
What I like about his leg shoot there, and the reason why long jumpers will, it almost looks like they're trying to get their heels up as high as possible. You're trying to get your feet above your center of mass, and that's how you just eke out those few extra centimeters. With a bad landing, you can lose between 15 to 20 centimeters, so it is really important.
5:40, and for somebody who's got an African record, that's quite a telling off he's been getting. Over to the shot put F11, complete visual impairment, and this is the man setting a great standard. Olad for Iran. 13:15 in the opening round, and he's maintaining that quite superbly. A slight improvement it looks to be in this shot put final.
And what's really amazing here, watch as he balances himself as he turns. Again, to do that without any sort of visual reference is incredible body awareness.
13:79 to increase his lead over to Silva of Brazil. Zhu Lihan in the women's shot put F34, a world record mark of 9.25 meters, ahead of Canovas of Poland, second, 8.49, and Namibia Morocco third, 7.98.
5.71 is the second position.
And that has now concluded.
5.47 is the best mark.
The quality finals continue here. They're always quality. This is the women's 100 meters T36, coordination impairment. The perennial champion is in this. Shi Yiting. She is the world record holder as well.
C'est la finale du 100 mètres féminin catégorie T36.
8 great racers ready to joust. There's only one athlete without a medal in this. More about her in a medal. This is the Oceanic silver medalist in her championship debut, coached by Katie Edwards, and the former Commonwealth Games and World Indoor Champion Melinda Gainsford-Taylor. That was Marley Lovell. In lane 2, for Brazil, 6 in the 200 meters in Tokyo at the last Paralympics, Samira de Silva. In lane 3 for Argentina, the youth Caraban 100 and 200 champion from last month in Bogota, Araceli Rotella. In lane 4 for New Zealand, the new joint championship record holder, the new Oceania record holder, the Paralympic silver medalist in the 2 in Tokyo, Danielle Aitchison for New Zealand. In lane 5 for Argentina, the Caraban champion over 100 and 200, the former Paralympic 100 champion, Yanina Martinez. In lane 6 for China, the reigning world and Paralympic champion, the reigning world record holder, Shi Yiting. Another Australian champion debutant in lane 7, representing Queensland, coached by her dad, Andrew, it's Abby Craswell. And in lane 8, for Germany, the 2018 European 200 meters champion, Nicole Nikolaitzik of TB Puttlingen.
It's the final of the women's 100 meter T36.
A brilliant field. Shi Yiting with the world record in claiming Paralympic gold 2 years ago. Danielle Aitchison with the fastest time in the world this year. She goes in lane 4. Martinez in between, the former Paralympic champion. What quality in the center lanes as usual. Total silence But Danielle Aitchison, what a semi-final. Equaling the championship record, Yanina Martinez, that glorious, famous gold in Rio at the 2016 Paralympic Games. And she, the reigning champion. Technical issue means a slight delay. So will it be Aitchison, will it be Martinez, or will yet again she be the name that we can't forget?
And what we're seeing right now is just the range of skills every athlete has to have, because when you step onto the track, you never quite know what's going to happen. You can have delays, you can have false starts, you can have yellow cards, and apart from being in fantastic shape, you have to have this skill of being able to focus and relax, focus and relax.
She's currently warming up. It's the last athlete of the event, Laetitia Ochoa.
Well, these are the three with awesome experience. Just a few things being plugged back in, just to make sure that the speakers behind can be properly heard. Just a quick word there in lane one of Marley Lovell. She was a footballing teammate of Gabby Taylor, who's the daughter of Melinda Gainsford Taylor, 200 meters former world indoor champion, and who holds all the 100 and 200 records.
I think perhaps the reason for the delay, you can see one of the, I think perhaps timing officials, he was just putting down what was a light. So for some athletes who have a hearing impairment and who perhaps can't hear the gun quite as well, they will use you can see them there, there's three, they're lights, and they're actually connected to the starting gun. And when the gun goes off, they fire, and that's how those athletes know when to go.
Well, there are so many different reasons to get involved in parasport. Lots of Australian support as usual, and Brazilian support too for Samira De Silva. Good knowledge. So all set now. Lovell in 1, De Silva in 2, Rotella 3, Aitchison 4, Martinez 5, She 6, Craswell 7, Nikolaitzik 8. The final of the women's 100 meters. T36. They're away now. Solid start by Aitchison in 4, Rotella in 3. Here goes She Eating in 6. Aitchison trying to chase her down. It's Aitchison in the middle lane. It's She Eating, the world record holder, the world champion, and she's done it again. 13.66. A new championship record. Aitchison gets the silver. It was the big duel between those two. Nikolaitzik was coming well in the outside lane. Aitchison gets the silver. She loses the championship record. She keeps her world title. 13.66. She Eating, the world 100 meters champion for the third consecutive World Championships. Aitchison ran her close. 13.84 for her in the end. And Nikolaitzik did indeed get the bronze. A great result again for Aitchison. It's another global silver for her, but for the first time in the 100. And as for She Eating, she remains the queen of this discipline.
I mean, that is an amazing drop in time from the heats. In the heats, well, actually, right now you can see a great shot of just that light going off, which is a light that's attached to the starting gun. But it looks like she's dropped almost a second from the heats. And again, that is just, some athletes will do just enough to get into the final and not show their cards. And so you'll show up never quite knowing what they're going to produce. But she is very good at bringing it when it matters. And as you can see, athletes in this category can choose whether or not they want to use starting blocks. For some, they find it helps their acceleration, and for some, they don't. She prefers to use a 3 stance start. She's doing an excellent job there of powering out, keeping her head down, just building her speed. She has a little glance there just to check out where Aitchison is.
2036.
They do have the big screen that they're facing into behind the finish line as well, which helps a little bit. Nikolajczyk, though, I'm sure was certain she knew that she was winning the race for the bronze medal. Brilliant for her. It is her first global medal. Her 5th world title. It is overall her 8th global gold for the world record holder, and she was only 0.05 of a second off that. Aitchison ran her close. Wasn't quite as fast as in her semi-final, Nicole Aitchison, but it's still a great result. A silver medal for New Zealand. Shi Yiting retains the title. Championship record 13.66. Aitchison, the silver for New Zealand, 13.84. And Nikolajczyk, a great bronze for Germany. Rotella and Martinez, 4th and 5th for Argentina.
De la finale du saut en longueur des T36.
Great champions always produce, and Shi Yiting did that.
So women's discus throw F33 in 5th place sits Delgado of Mexico. 11.04 with her best. This her 4th attempt.
She's thrown 3 other attempts, and she's now 5th in the event with 11 meter 04.
Laetitia Ochoa Delgado, la Mexicaine, a réalisé 11 mètres 04.
Currently in 5th position. Rodriguez out in front. She went first, breaking her own world record. Delgado has some work to do. 10.94, so she stays in 5th position with her 2nd attempt, her best thus far. She'll have 2 more from that seated position as we head back to the track and the men's 100 metres T44 final. And a slight, for the first time I think since we've seen the beginning of these championships, there was a slight tailwind of plus 1.3 in that last final, something we haven't seen throughout these championships.
Couloir 2 représentant l'Arabie Saoudite, Nour Al-Sana.
Lane 3 is the world leader with 11 seconds 16, representing Brazil.
So, the field ready for this. Matheus de Lima is in lane 3. And Helena Mulonga of South Africa in 4.
Lane 5, representing Egypt,
Karim Ramadan going in lane 5 for Egypt. Chichetti of Italy is in 6. It's Manoj Bhaskar of India in lane 7. And Denzel Namain of Namibia, who's ready to go in lane 8.
100 meters T44.
So decent field, this Vijay Kumar of India in 1, the 23-year-old. Alsana in 2 for Saudi Arabia. Fastest in the field, the world record holder Mulongo, the defending champion from Dubai in 2019. Fastest in the field this year, though, is the former champ Matheus de Silva. Well, this is all set for a quality final, potentially. T44, the single below knee leg amputee category. Mulongo was so glorious in taking that honour in Dubai in 2019. So India, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, South Africa, Egypt, Italy, and Namibia providing the athletes in this. Kumar in 1, Alsana 2, De Lima 3, Mulongo 4, Ramadan 5, Chichetti, Bhaskar, Namain. Oh, well, that looked to be Noor Alsana, I'm sure, in lane 2 from Saudi Arabia, who went way before the gun. maybe his only saving grace is he went so far ahead of the gun that he just get a yellow card. I'm not so sure. That is literally jumping the gun. And despite the fact that there are bits of leeway given, I don't think Bhaskar will be too forgiving because he went halfway up the track. Alsana will be very fortunate if he's not disqualified here, frankly.
Now, as an athlete, the best thing you can do in this moment is walk back as casually as you can and act like you haven't done anything wrong.
And whistle.
As you're looking around, did something happen? Yeah, I don't think that's going to work on this occasion.
It might not work, but you have to try. Acting skills can be very helpful on this occasion.
Well, Manoj Bhaskar, he went to about the 60-meter line. I remember a race like this. I think it was in Rio. Yeah, he has been disqualified. It's as open and shut a case as you can get. I think it was the 100-meter final in Rio, and Chad Perez basically ran the whole 100 meters, if I remember. And that's what Manoj Bhaskar has done here. So it's a disqualification for Noor Alsana. It could only be that. We don't need to play you the sound because he is obviously the man who went ahead of everyone else. So he is disqualified.
He's taken it very graciously and given the stage back to the other athletes. But it was a good try.
So, all set and down to 7. Vijay Kumar in 1, Matthias de Lima in 3. The world record holder, Longo of South Africa in 4, Ramadan 5, Kichechi 6, Bhaskar 7, the main 8. Now they're underway in this T44 100 meters final. It's a brilliant start by de Lima. It's de Lima against Malongo of South Africa, and Malongo's moving up now. He's well in his stride. 11:46 to take the gold. Ramadan the silver. De Lima, who was up with him, lost his stride. Has limped over the line. Will he be fortunate if he's got the bronze medal after the misfortune with 30 meters to go of just losing his rhythm? Malongo never lost his. He gets the title. 11.76. Ramadan, lifetime best with the silver. 11.79 by 800ths. And de Lima did get the bronze, but it could have been a little bit better for him. But Malongo remains the champion.
Now, if you're a long-time para-athletics fan, you will know that in the past, T44s and T64s used to compete together. So what they've done now is a T44 is a lower impairment for athletes who don't use a blade. So now they run separately and have their own category. And the difference is that when the foot on your affected side hits the ground, it's hitting the ground with a different reaction. So once again, your body is having to do with asymmetrical forces and doing its best to control them.
So watch out here for the two men, Malongo and de Lima. And de Lima just there, he's lost his rhythm completely and he's hobbling along. Malongo never lost his. Ramadan picks up a brilliant silver medal for him.
That was a great shot of the blocks there. You can just see the force and the pressure going through them as you can almost imperceptibly see them move back.
I'm just wondering whether he might have actually pulled a muscle. Just watch him, watch his, just there.
Really struggling.
Just there. I think he might have actually done something to his hamstring perhaps.
His hamstring does look to be heavily taped, and he did such a good job in that case. He had so much momentum. He was able just to almost go through the motions and get across that line.
Well, it's hard for him because he was only around 20 or so, 30 meters from home, and all of a sudden the injury, you can see him pull up there. It's almost a hamstring or maybe a calf. Perhaps it's painful, whatever it is, and you have to feel for him.
So Malongo, the silver medalist in Dubai in the 100 meters, who picked up bronze in the long jump there, is now the world champion. Malongo takes the honours, 11.46 seconds. Ramadan the silver for Egypt, and Mateus de Lima hobbles to the bronze for Brazil. Nur Al-Sana with an unexpected disqualification for him, but that was a race which was quite unexpected on it, but not for Malongo.
Well, there's been so many stoppages and incidents this evening. We're about 12 or 13 minutes behind on the track. Now that is something I thought I'd never hear.
Stedman, New Zealand in the long jump, on his way to another medal, but what will it be?
Well, he's already set the Oceania record, 5.71, but there's only 4 centimetres between him and that first position and championship record.
Right now, there's only 21 centimetres between first and 7th. And I'm not sure I've ever seen that in any long jump competition anywhere. So basically, anybody could win this.
It's the equivalent of throwing a sheet over everyone, I think, if you're in a sporting contest on a field. Well, Stedman, sorry.
I say you can just see the mental. I love watching the psychology of athletes, and you can see the mental preparation going on. He's been containing himself while he knows other things are going on the track. There'll have been a cone out saying that he wasn't allowed to go, but as soon as that cone is removed, he's mentally rehearsed, and he is ready to see if he can upgrade to that gold medal.
Well, here he goes. 5.71 was that Oceania record with his second jump.
You can see he has a really nice rhythm, a really nice bound, which tells us that he's quite springy.
Well, he's nice off the board, isn't he?
And that right there is the reason why long jumpers always have sand everywhere, in every room, in every bag, in every piece of clothing you own.
And that's what happens afterwards. They smooth it out beautifully.
That is really important when it comes to accurate measurements, and there's actually a whole bunch of regulations around what a long jump pit needs to look like, which I won't bore you with right now, but one of them is that it has to be full. If that makes sense, you can't have a gap, because that again would add distance.
Well, Stedman remains in second position, no improvement there. He has one left to go in that T36 men's long jump final. As we head back to the track, 3 heats, the women's 400 metres T12, round 1, Amara Duran with both the world and championship record. She's to the left of screen there with her guide, Uniol Kinderland, with the pink hair. Gara Fuentes Perez will go in lane 3 from Spain, 19 years of age. First major championship up against an absolute legend of the sport. Enjoying the occasion, good to see. Laia Pinje of Namibia, 17 years of age, even younger, as she makes her major championship debut. And here is a sight to behold. Never lost a final she's appeared in. 30 Paralympic World Championship and Parapan American gold. She is Amara Duran of Cuba. So there are 3 of these heats. The first fastest will go through, and then after the 3 heats, whoever's the quickest loser will then go through to the final as well. Duran with Paralympic golds in 2012, 2016 and 2020. She's also picked up 4 world golds in 11, 15, 17 and the last championships in Dubai in 19. There's that tether which the guides have to set up beforehand, and it does take a bit of time, Steph, to get into position.
This is another classification where you need to learn patience at the start, because everybody needs to be set, everybody needs to be ready.
Nice fingernail work as well. Well, there's a false start there, and I can tell you right now, it is in lane 5. Straight to the naked eye. You couldn't miss that at all. It's Laia Pinje of Namibia.
And actually in this category, they do have to use blocks and the pressure pads are turned on. So this will come down to the automatic readout.
Yeah, and she went well before the guide as well. And I think he knew it straight away.
Impinge.
Has impinged across the line. And the red card is shown. So, unfortunately, that is sport. And that is athletics. She might feel a bit embarrassed with herself. Only 17 years of age, so a slight bit of inexperience. And when you're up against someone like Amara Duran, then, well, you know that it's going to be a tough enough assignment as it is. So she'll be forced to wait on the sides and listen out for the crowd in this opening women's 400-meter T12 heat. So only 2 will go now. Pinge disqualified. Fuentes Perez of Spain will go in 3. And it is Durand who is out in lane on the outside, and she gets away very quickly indeed, and already out to a massive lead. The thing about Amara Durand and her guide Junio Kinderland is when you watch them run, we talk about synchronicity in sprinting, and they have it down to an absolute T, and the speed of the guide is very important when you've got someone like Amara Durand, who, if she went up against able-bodied athletes in the world athletics scene, I suspect she would be pretty good against them as well. She is absolutely lightning quick, and they are almost jogging around, aren't they? Because it doesn't really matter about the time here. They know they're going to win. It's like a Sunday jog down. The time is inconsequential. What is the main thing is finishing just like that and in first position. A good little training workout, and it is Fuentes Perez who comes across so exhausted. She falls down as she goes across the line. For Durand, gets a bit of air into the lungs, and she'll be up and about and wandering down as she is right now with Junio Kinderland. And he's given the fingers up that all's good. Not so good for that lady at the moment. I think she's just completely exhausted. Major championship debut. Adrenaline running through the system. Lifetime best for her though. So the goal has been recorded. Lifetime best for Fuentes Perez. It'll be tough now to see who that fastest qualifier will be to go through into the final. But there was no doubt about Amara Durand, a legend of para-athletics.
I have to admit, even I do get a bit of a fangirl, a fangirl effect around her. She is that amazing, and she is that legendary. And what I love about watching them run, not only do their strides match, their facial expressions match. They are completely in tune. They know exactly what they need to do in this round, and you're right, they really did have the option to shut down as they're coming round. But what an amazing run from Fuentes Perez. She ran it as a time trial, exactly what she had to do, and oh, you can just see the disappointment there for Pinge, and it's so hard when that happens, and that's exactly why you have a team around you to pick you up. It's just one race in what will be a very long career for her.
Yeah, she's only 17 years of age, so as you quite rightly say, a long career ahead of her, and I hope she comes back stronger from that. But it is Amara Durand who wins the opening heat in the women's 400 metres T12 medium visual impairment category.
So the pressure really is on in this men's long jump T36 final. And we've had quite a few misses actually in this last round up to this point. We've got 3 to go. Alexander Litvinenko going out to a lifetime best of 5:68 in the previous round. Can he get another one to leap up the standings? I'm not quite sure that's it. He went early, in fact. So it is bronze for Litvinenko, and that is a great result. Lifetime best of 5:68. He doesn't improve. It's 5:41 for him.
You're right, he did go early on that occasion, which means not only is he losing at least 20 centimeters to his jump, but the takeoff board is made of a much more solid material than the track, and so you will get that little bit of extra lift, that little bit more power transfer.
Bronze last time out in the previous World Championships in Dubai. He finished 7th in Tokyo. It has been a horror 18 months for him, his teammates, his family, his friends. It can all spill out now. Alexander Litvinenko gets the bronze for Ukraine. William Stedman, currently in the silver medal position, 4 centimeters behind Turganov. Oceania record, this was something big to get the gold. He's put so much into it tonight. A good set of marks across the board. It would have needed something major to turn over Turganov here, though.
Once again, we see that he's a tiny little bit behind the board, and sometimes coaches will do that on your final jump. They'll tell you just to go out there and go for it, and so in order to account for perhaps a little bit of extra speed, a bit of extra power, they will set you back just a little bit. But it's your final jump. He's got the silver. You may as well enjoy it and give it everything you have on that last one.
Second silver of the week for Stedman means Izat Turganov, his first championship medal, makes him a world champion. So now we've got the second heat of the women's 400 meters T12. Four going in this. Guides are optional. It's Valentina Petrillo who's in 1. Alejandro Perez there of Venezuela. Twin sister Linda is the Paralympic 100 meters champion. Ida Lunella, bronze in the 400 in the last Europeans. That's her brother, Henrik, who's her guide. And Marcia Arujo of Portugal, who was edged out by Ida in that European final. She goes in lane 7 with her guide, Vera Lopez de Castro. A rare female guide for an athlete. Valentina Petrillo of Italy, she is the fastest in the field and is not going with a guide. 11 national Italian titles for Petrillo, who goes on the inside in lane 1. Alejandro Perez with her guide Markinson. Manzanilla of Venezuela. So it's the winner and the sole fastest to go through to the final. So they're away the first time of asking. Petrillo in 1, Perez in 3, Lunella and Lunella in 5, and Arujo in lane 7. It's a really solid start by Alejandra Perez, who won bronze herself at the Paralympic Games along with her twin sister. For Alejandra, it was in the 400 meters. She's going brilliantly at the moment. Petrillo on the outside, beginning to gain a little bit of rhythm on the outside. Arujo of Portugal. This could be quite even. Valentina Petrillo on the inside in lane 1 is going really well right now, and so too is Perez. It's only the winner who is guaranteed to go through to the final. Valentina Petrillo for Italy, Alejandro Perez in 3, and Petrillo is coming through through to get the victory here. And Valentina Petrillo will be in the final. 58.04. Perez in second place. And that for Petrillo is a lifetime best. Well clear in the end. Perez in second spot. And Italy will have a representative in the final. Lifetime best by almost 2 seconds. Well, Lunella gave that a really decent tilt as well. Season's best for Perez, 58.51. And that's been rounded down as well by 0.03 of a second. Valentina Petrillo takes it 58.01.
In the T12 classification, it's optional whether or not you want to run with the guide. And I would love to ask a coach how they make that decision. Just watching them run, I'm not sure that it really makes them any faster or slower, but I was just wondering about the practical or logistical aspects of it. For example, I'm sure it's much easier to coordinate one training schedule as opposed to trying to coordinate with someone else. But then I was thinking about going through the call room, and it was really great to see the relationship between the Lunella siblings at the beginning. It must be nice to kind of have someone on your side with you to encourage you.
That might be one of your problems, though, because you have to have a guide that you actually get on really well with, and you have to have the personality to get on with a guide as well.
That's true. I wonder what happens if there's a disagreement, or that adds a whole different dynamic. So there's a lot of pros and cons. But there we see two brilliant examples of just running in perfect synchronicity.
Petrillo coming in on the inside and just overtaking Perez in the closing straight.
That is a great visual of just how hard it is to run a 400 meters. You stand at that start line, and again, you just know every time it's going to hurt no matter how fit you are. You just run it harder, and it hits and it hurts more.
So Valentina Petrillo, who finished 5th in the European Championship final, progresses through to the decider here. Valentina Petrillo, 58.01, a lifetime best in women's athletics. Perez in second and Lunella in third with a lifetime best. Well, Izzat Turganov missed his last 3 attempts in the men's long jump T36 final, but he equalled that championship record in the second round to take the gold. And what a gold. And what a French champion we're going to see shortly, but that'll be in a couple of races' time. And of course, 50% representation for France in the men's 400 T11. But you can be patient for that.
That's because we're still on the women's 400 metres T12. The last of the 3 heats. We have 2 guaranteed in the final, Mara Dramand and Valentina Petrillo. We will now wait to see who the automatic qualifier to go through from this is, and then we'll find our fastest qualifier, and we will be set for tomorrow's final. Lorraine Gomez of Brazil, 58.33, a season best and lifetime best set this year. The 25-year-old, her first major championships, and also at her first major championships from Cape Verde, Heidelin Oliveira, Fatima El Adressi, gold in the 1500 metres back in Dubai in 2019, and also gold here at these championships already in the 1500. Evelina Cristina Cretu didn't get out of the heat in 2019. She will run without a guide. That's confirmation of the previous heat of Petrillo taking first place in that one. So 4 to go, 1 guaranteed to go through. Gomez in 1, Oliveira in 3, Eladrissi in 5, and Cretu will go in 7 from Moldova. So we get away. The silence at the beginning was absolutely fine. 2 of the athletes without guides, 2 going with guides. And getting away really well is Eladrissi, who already has that 1,500 metres gold. She's out running by herself, but the 2 athletes with guides are now coming into their own. Gomez of Brazil on the inside there in the yellow and green, who's now taken up the lead. And outside her, it is Oliveira of Cape Verde, but Eladrissi is steaming back and doing her best to catch up with the Brazilian. Out in front, Lorraine Gomez, the 25-year-old, first major championship in Brazil. As usual, in para-athletics, having quite some meat indeed, and it is that lady in question, Lorraine Gomez, lifetime best of 58.33 set this year, who is out in front by about 20 metres or so. Eladrissi is doing her best to close it down, and she is coming back very strong at the end. Eladrissi is going to get her on the line. She's finished quickly, Eladrissi. Well, she won gold in the 1,500 metres. She had a very fast finish in that. She's got a fast finish in this as well. She takes the victory and goes through to the final. Well, we saw when she won gold in that 1,500 metres, she exploded down the back straight, and with around 50 metres to go there, she looks exhausted, but it will be worth it because she's into yet another final. 1 minute, 0.11 seconds for Eladrissi to go through. Gomez just couldn't hold on. The lactic acid burn, it came, was a lifetime best for Eladrissi. Gomez finishing just 0.77 seconds behind Eladrissi. She just couldn't manage in that last 30 or 40 metres, and the Moroccan just showed that sheer will and power she has, not only at the end of the 1,500 metres, but at the end of the 400 as well.
It was so interesting to see 2 completely different styles in terms of how to run the 400. Eladrissi, it's not that she took her foot off the gas throwing down the back, but she just really relaxed and eased into it, whereas this is where Gomez really poured it on and really had quite a lot of separation from the rest of the field. And we see Eladrissi, she's not worried. She's carrying on with her race plan. In the 400 meters, you can't really affect anyone else's race in the same way that you can with the 1,500. You're staying in your own lane, but you can decide how you're going to run it, and we saw the impact as they came down. You can see your guide there. He's looking, he sees Eladrissi coming, he's trying to let Gomez know, but there is no stopping her.
It was like a freight train coming past, wasn't it? Eladrissi just came from nowhere, and when they went over that 100 metre to go mark and into the home straight, you thought she had no hope, and then all of a sudden the tightness built up on Gomez, and the guy did his best to try and get her home, but the Moroccan support, as they did when she won the 1,500 metres gold, well, they're clapping on, they're cheering, because they know she's through to another final. What a championship she's having. Moroccans loving it in the crowd. Fatima Eladrissi, lifetime best, goes through to the final of the women's 400 metres T12. Gomez in second, Oliveira third, and it is Cretu of Moldova, a season best for her, who rounds up the field, coming in 4th position. And it is Perez Lopez from the second heat who will go through as the fastest qualifier, the Venezuelan. Time of 58.51 for her. That was a quick heat, that one. She's your 4th in the final. Men's long jump, confirmation of that. Turganov equal the championship record. Stedman in second, Litvinenko with the bronze. And here is Turganov with what is a wonderful jump indeed to claim the gold medal.
Is that Turganov of Uzbekistan in this second round. Third after round one. A major effort. He knows it's good. Uzbekistan having some week. A major effort for a man who's never before won a major championship medal. No mark in Tokyo in the last Paralympic Games. 7th in Dubai. And he was absolutely perfectly on the board. Continuing what is a stunning week. 5 meters 75 equals the championship record from Doha 2015.
Well, no mark on a board is the equivalent of a false start in the field. And so, Impinj, if you are watching, take heart. You can come back and still do really well in Paris in 2024.
Last event of the night. Nobody leaving early for one very, very good reason. 2 of the 4 in this men's 400 meters T11 final for complete visual impairment are from the host nation, France. And they have both at one time or another been world champions. In lane 1 for France, the 2006 world champion over 100 meters. Bronze in the 400 in Tokyo 2 years ago. Gauta Makunda and his guide Lucas Matona. In lane 3 for Spain, the reigning Paralympic 400 meters champion, the back-to-back 400 meters champion, Caraban Descarega. In lane 5 for France, the reigning European and world champion. 6-time European champion Timothy Adolphe and his guide Geoffrey Lamy. Home sweet home. And in lane 7 for Brazil, the former Pan Am world and Paralympic champion Felipe de Souza Gomez and his guide Jonas de Lima Silva. Fastest in the field this year, Gerard Descarega. Makunda in 1, Adolphe in 5. But every single one of this field has been at one time or another a global champion. Makunda, Descarega, Adolphe, de Souza Gomez. Nothing but quality. Tension right around the Stade Charlotte. And I'm sure not a single person has left this stadium all night anticipating this final. Makunda gold in old 6. Descarega as recently as 2021. Adolphe 2019, the world champion. De Souza 2016. What a field for this men's 400 meters final. T11. And away they go. Makunda in 1, Adolphe in 5, getting off to a brilliant start. De Souza as well in 7. Now Adolphe beginning to make a bit of ground in 5 too. The man who's had a few disappointments in finals, particularly in London, but he has had a glorious reign of late. Makunda being slightly left behind in the opening 200. De Souza going well from Brazil in 7. Adolphe gaining ground on him. Now they'll straighten up into the closing straight in Paris. And it's Adolphe for France. It's It's de Sousa for Brazil. It's between these two. Descarrega in third spot. De Sousa slightly ahead for Brazil. But now Adolphe coming strong as he always does in the closing strike. De Sousa still hanging on. And Descarrega's moving up. It's de Sousa, Descarrega, Adolphe. I think in that order. Mukunda in fourth place. So tight between all those six bodies, including the guides. And have Brazil done it again? Brazil have done it again. Felipe de Sousa Gomez, the 2015 world champion, is now champion 8 years on. Descarrega with the silver for Spain. He came late, he was so far back. He almost grabbed the gold, but silver for Spain. France 3, France 4. Adolphe was up there and almost led near the end, but was just edged out. Adolphe, by 0.03 of a second, pushed back into third place. But they will support Leblanc forevermore around these parts. But it is the night of the Samba.
The entire stadium erupted as the men came out for this race. France was out in full force, and they, well, as you said, I didn't want to say they knew they were going to get a medal, because in this, anything can happen. There can be disqualifications, and I didn't want to jinx it. But last night, we really had that, Vegas boxing match vibe, and it was exactly the same today. When it was the introductions, it almost felt like they were introducing people for the heavyweight title. Oh, it was just so exciting. And the race certainly lived up to it. You could just, I love that Adolphe and his guide, they went for it. They charged out. They did everything that they could. They committed right from the start.
Equal start across the board, frankly. Mukunda was gliding up quite well in one, but was just then beginning to push back. Adolphe coming up to the fore, but if you put that diagonal line across, eventually it was between Adolphe and de Sousa on the turn. The results are still unofficial, by the way. A lot of bodies crossed the line at once, but this is where de Sousa began to push up. And look at Descarrega go.
And that's the thing, in a 400 meters, everything can change in that last 10 meters, and it just depends on who is decelerating the slowest. And you want a close finish, but I would love to know what the stadium would have done if Adolphe had taken that.
Well, I think we'd have taken off and landed somewhere in the North Sea. But instead, it's Brazil with all the limbs in the air. The official result has come through. All of the guides were all right in the end. And Felipe de Sousa Gomez gets his fourth global crown, his first world gold in 8 years. He was the 200 champion in London 2012. It was a famous win for him. Relay gold in Rio, which he'll never forget. Nor this in a hurry. Felipe de Sousa Gomez takes the title in the men's 400 meters T11 for Brazil. Descarrega the silver for Spain. Adolphe the bronze for France. C'est la vie. What a finish to the night that was. Well, just slightly deflated, I'm sure. Timothy Adolphe and Gaute Mukunda will both feel the perfect result for them would have been gold and silver. Mathematically, unless there was a calamity, they were guaranteed a medal. They have won a hatful in their careers. They both medalled in Lyon 10 years ago. Sorry, Steph. But they'd have loved it again tonight.
I was going to say, just as you're a French athlete, what a preview of what is to come this year and to come next year. And if there's anything that will motivate you for your training, having an experience on a night like this is it.
Well, what a wonderful world it is indeed.
But we do not have all the time in the world, which means a look at what's happened today. Elizabeth Rodriguez has won 2 gold medals for Brazil, world records in both. Women's discus, F53, ahead of Cassie Mitchell of the United States and Zoya Ovsi of Ukraine.
Women's shot put, F34. She's done it again. Zhu Lijian has broken her own world record by 6 centimetres, the reigning world and Paralympic champion.
Men's 400 metres T52, and what a championship record for young Maxime Caraban of Belgium ahead of Perez Anita.
Men's shot put, F11 final. Marty Olad taking the victory ahead of Da Silva of Brazil, who have had a pretty good day, season best there, and Ame Cano with the bronze, lifetime best there for him.
Tomoki Sato winning the second heat of the men's 400 metres T52, 56.57 by over 6 seconds. The top 5 are all through to the final.
Women's 100 metres T11, the first of 3 semi-finals. Lorena Salvatini equaling the championship record, and Luku Quing also qualifying through in a time of 12.19.
Jerusa Geber continuing the Brazilian domination in this, winning semi-final 2, a championship record of 11.89, beating the old mark from 12 years ago of the great Teresina Wilhelmina.
So a championship record in the first one that was equalled and then beaten in the second one. In this one, Brazil at it again. Felita Simplicio qualifying 12.45 through to the final.
Thrilling long jump T36 final. Izat Turganov equaling the championship record. Another gold for Uzbekistan, edging out New Zealand's William Steadman, 5.71, his second silver medal of the week. Litvinenko with the bronze for Ukraine. A championship record in the men's 100 metres T13 final for Salam Kashafali to succeed Jason Smith, 10.45 for Norway, Barros de Silva for Brazil, and the bronze by 100 to Damene of Thailand.
Men's 200 metres T35, the reigning world and European champion Igor Sviatov with a season best taking the gold, Barreto with an America's record silver, and Bourdignon of Brazil, lifetime best for him with the bronze.
Brazil 1-2 in the men's 200 metres T37 final. Ricardo Gomez equaling the championship record of Andrei Vidovin. Christian Luis da Costa with the silver. And Septoyogo Purnomo, the bronze for Indonesia.
Women's 200 metres T13, Adi Iglesias, who picked up a silver medal in the 100 metres, has gone one better. Season best there in taking gold. Bojela had a bronze in the 100s. He picks up a silver, and Erin Kirkov a lifetime best with a bronze medal for the United States of America. Men's 100 metres T64, it was Italy all the way. Manu had a slow start, but he stormed home and had a few issues beforehand. Giti takes the silver medal, and Felix Streng picks up the bronze. Former champion Yanis Flores in 4th.
Shi Yiting does it again and grasps back her championship record in the women's 100 metres T36 ahead of Danielle Aitchison in New Zealand with the silver, and Nicole Nikolaitzik the bronze for Germany, her first global medal. No surprise for Mpumelelo Mlongo of South Africa. 11.46 to win the men's 100 metres T44. Karim Ramadan the silver for Egypt. Matthias de Lima of Brazil with the bronze medal.
Women's 400 metres T12, the opening of 3 heats. The great Amara Duran, who holds the world and championship record in this, took an easy victory, 54.98. Disqualification for a pinch after a false start. Fuentes Perez, a lifetime best in second, but failed to qualify.
Valentina Petrillo has claimed the second heat, a lifetime best, 58.01 for Italy. Alejandro Perez Lopez also going through.
And it was the lady who took gold in the 1500 metres who qualifies from this one, Fatima El Adrisi. Quite some finish, beating Lorraine Gomez of Brazil, lifetime best, and through to the final in the women's 400 metres T12.
Felipe de Souza Gomez claims his first world crown since Doha 2015. 51 seconds dead to win the men's 400 metres T11. Descarrega the silver and Timothy Adolphe gets the bronze. France 3-4. It could have been so much better for the host nation.
Well, a wonderful stadium that's provided some wonderful scenes. The lights are on, but there are still plenty of people home. And there is more action to come tomorrow on day 6. Sparkling everywhere, look at that. Especially with those gold medals. There are silver and bronze, but gold make your day.
Yeah, China picked up 8 gold medals overall. Brazil have won so many today. Elizabeth Rodriguez providing 2. Claudine Batista, and also right at the end, that absolutely stunning victory in the men's 100 metres T11 for Felipe de Souza Gomez. Roderick Townsend with a great high jump goal last night for the United States. Great Britain have won 4. Fortune with that glorious shot put win. Holly Arnold earlier today in the javelin. Poland now with 2 golds, 6 medals overall. Tunisia through. Walid Katila would have liked to have added to it, but didn't quite. Netherlands, long jump gold, silver and bronze for them to date. Aitchison with the silver in the 100 metres tonight. Canada with 4 medals. United Arab Emirates winning their first last night in that T34 drama. Venezuela, Slovakia, France, Finland, Czechia, Argentina, all with bronze medals. France tonight through Timothy Adolphe.
Well, they're on their way back towards us. I think they've done a bit of a day trip, and they'll be landing again tomorrow morning, where there will be 9 finals to take us through that morning session. 5 on the field, 4 on the track. It's been an enthralling day 5 that's seen 19 gold medals handed out. We can't wait for more on day 6. For me, Tolson Tollett, Will Downing and Steph Reed, night-night.